Hello, Ospreys, and welcome to Nest News. I'm Chris Jennings.
And I'm Shafalika Bhatnagar, and today we talk about the statement released by the university regarding the alleged neo-Nazi posters found on campus.
And also we dive into how fossil fuels impact the university.
So stick around because Nest News starts right now. Last week, we brushed the surface when we took a look at some alleged neo-Nazi posters on campus. Well, today we have more on the story. The university and President Szymanski made a statement this week saying the University of North Florida wholeheartedly rejects hate in all its forms, and the views expressed on these flyers are fundamentally opposed to everything we stand for as a university and as human beings, says the statement signed by President Szymanski. President Szymanski goes on to say that UPD is continuing its investigation on the neo-Nazi reports and is actively searching for offensive material on their daily patrols. If any students have any information, contact UPD.
A student pulled a gun from his backpack and opened fire at us at a Southern California high school Thursday morning, killing 2 students and wounding 3 more before shooting himself in the head on his 16th birthday. The attacker is currently in critical condition at the hospital. The gunfire began around 7:30 a.m. and authorities estimate that the suspect just took 16 seconds to pull out the weapon, shoot 5 classmates, and then himself.
Within approximately 16 seconds it was over, and the gun was not displayed before that. From the time that he withdrew the handgun from his backpack to the time that he was on the ground with a gunshot wound to his head was about 16 seconds.
People who were the victims were all waiting for second period to start. So they were just like waiting for their class to start. It was almost as if
that's why they were outside in the quad area.
It was almost as if it were to happen at like a brunch or lunch, but there was just less people. But like people were just waiting for their class to start. It wasn't like everyone was in a classroom necessarily.
Our thoughts and prayers, our condolences to all the victims' families, first and foremost. And I want to reassure all the parents of their kids that go to school here in Saugus that we have their safety at heart. It's our #1 priority. Our deputies answered the call and they went towards the gunfire as everybody was running away from it, and that's what they're paid to do, and they did their job willingly. Their own kids are in that school, so you can imagine their concern.
A 16-year-old girl and a 14-year-old boy were killed. 2 girls, 14 and 15, are being treated for gunshot wounds at Providence Holy Cross Medical Center and are in good condition. Another 14-year-old was released from a different hospital, authorities say. The shooter was a student, but did not identify him.
A medical examiner ruled Tuesday that the death of a college freshman in California who was hospitalized after attending a fraternity party was accidental. 19-year-old Dylan Hernandez suffered injuries to the head after falling out of his elevated bed in San Diego State University. It is reported that after Hernandez fell, a roommate assisted him back onto the bed, but only to later find him unresponsive Thursday morning. Hernandez attended the frat party Wednesday night. Several of his peers reported that he consumed a lot of drinks and partied way too hard. 14 of the school's fraternities were suspended indefinitely following his hospitalization. And the university said the decision was made, given the severity of this incident, and the safety and the well-being of the students is a primary concern of the university. I pray for the kid's mother and father as they push through this tragic accident.
Everyone here at Spinnaker sends their condolences to the families of the victims. On a brighter note, here at UNF we strive to be an eco-friendly college, using paper straws at Chick-fil-A or not using plastic bags at the bookstore. We try our best to make a difference.
But what about the university's investment in fossil fuels? Miller Mott took a closer look into what the Faculty Association is doing to make a difference.
I'm Miller Mott here at the UNF Osprey Commons, where the Faculty Association has just passed a resolution urging the university to relocate investments from fossil fuels. UNF has $97.4 million in investments, including some in natural resources. However, one of UNF's main values is responsibility to the natural environment. Dr. David Jaffe, the sociology professor who introduced the resolution, explains how this is a focal point of their argument.
Well, if one of our values is something like respect for the natural environment, then we should probably think about the extent to which we're putting our endowment investments into corporations that are actually destroying the environment and obviously contributing to the climate emergency.
Although some are claiming there is a disconnect between these values and investments, not all faculty are convinced divestment is the best course of action. Endowments are used for student scholarships, and some fear divestment would put these scholarships in jeopardy. Political science professor Dr. Georgette Dumont explains this position.
This is going to potentially take away money from the very students who could be learning how to solve these problems in the future. So we can be taking away the opportunity to get to the solution that we're seeking.
Whether the Faculty Association's efforts will be effective is still undetermined. The President's office has issued a statement saying Szymanski is aware of the resolution and is taking it under advisement. As of the time being, Szymanski's office has declined an interview on the matter. Miller Mott, Spinnaker News.
It seems like support for this cause is growing at UNF. It'll be interesting to see if the Board of Trustees decides to do anything about it.
Coming up, we talk about the latest happening at the Fine Arts Center.
And also, what's going on with vape-related illnesses?
So we'll have all that and more coming up next on Spinnaker TV.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6. We have main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let me tell you a little bit about the STEM. My name's Lee Gia. My friends and I have done some amazing things on this show, like flying through hurricanes, or driving Teslas, or swimming with manatees, or even floating in zero gravity. We film these things and bring them here, to the world's next great science and space show. That's where the STEM comes in. We go on adventures as an excuse to learn something. The universe is a pretty big place. There's a lot to learn, a lot that's interesting to learn. Over the next year or so, we'll be riding in the centrifuge, farm in the heart of New York City, fly a spaceship, fly President Harry Truman's Air Force One, launch some rockets, catch some rockets, nice! Shoot video at the speed of light. Our world and universe are there, waiting to be explored. The question is, what are you waiting for?
Welcome back, Ospreys.
Let's jump right into the news with your week's pop culture rundown.
UNF has a couple of cool recitals today, showcasing the beauty of dance as well as vocal talents of our very own Ospreys. Why don't you tell us who's taking the stage today, Chris?
Yeah, sure. Let's see. The Jacksonville Center of the Arts has a dance recital called the Golden Nutcracker and will feature 3 performances today. The show takes place at the Fine Arts Center in the Lazara Performance Hall. Catch the final show tonight from 7 to 9 p.m.
Wow, the Golden Nutcracker sounds like a great show to kick off the holidays. You know, my favorite part of the holidays is all the carolers because I love the beautiful melodies of a choir. So I'm super excited to check out the School of Music's Fall Choral Showcase today. The concert features UNF's chorale, the Osprey Treble and the 5 o'clock singers, and the event begins at 7:30 p.m. at the Fine Arts Center in the recital hall. Come out and enjoy the shows on campus today.
In the wake of several cases of vape-related illnesses and the discovery that those illnesses might stem from the chemical vitamin E acetate, Vice recently published an article detailing the way some doctors are describing the lungs of vapors.
After performing a double lung transplant on a 17-year-old boy due to his lungs not working properly from vaping, Dr. Hassan Nima tells the New York Times that the boy's lungs were nothing he's ever seen before in his 20 years of performing surgery. And he continues by saying, this is an evil he hasn't faced before.
And despite the several vaping-related illnesses discovered in the past few months, another doctor from the surgical transplant team reports to the New York Times that we are only at the tip of the iceberg. And for this week's movie spotlight, we have an interesting film telling the tale of 2 companies with big intentions to beat each other.
The movie Ford v. Ferrari is based on a true story of the American car designer Carroll Shelby and the driver Ken Miles. who built a stunning race car for Ford Motor Company during the 1966 Le Mans race in France.
Notable actors in the movie include Christian Bale, Matt Damon, and John Bertha, so I can almost guarantee this movie has all the action and drama you could ask for.
The movie comes out today, and with a 90% rating on Rotten Tomatoes out of the gate, it promises to be great.
All right, guys, coming up, we take a look at what's been going on in UNF sports.
And we'll also get a weekend weather update.
Stick around because Nest News will be right back.
Welcome back, Ospreys. I'm glad y'all stuck around.
So don't flip the channel yet. Let's go to Catherine Cavallo for your Spinnaker Sports Reports.
Thanks, guys. Last night, the Birds of Trey kept their 3-game winning streak alive in a close game against the Southern Miss Golden Eagles. Here's sports reporter Zach Yearwood with the recap.
The UNF Ospreys took care of business in a close game at home against the Southern Mississippi Golden Eagles, winning 66-63. Head coach Matthew Driscoll spoke about the team's strong defensive performance.
Defense and rebounding have been the things that we've talked about. And our DER was once again at a .85, which is phenomenal. We'll be one of the best in the country. And the way in which we kept guys in front of us, the way in which we contested shots. Early on, they kind of got going a little bit when we weren't in our man-to-man, but once we went man, it separated things.
Sophomore Carter Hendrickson had a hot start, scoring 13 in the first half.
I just had open looks, like if I'm open, coach wants us to shoot it, so I was just taking what I got and let it fly.
The Ospreys will play their next game at home against Trinity Baptist, their last home game before their tough road schedule, which includes Iowa and Creighton. I'm Zach Yearwood, Spinnaker News.
In volleyball news, both Juliana Askew and Solomir Cicero earned ASUN Weekly Honors. Askew was named as the Freshman of the Week, and Cicero was named as Co-Player of the Week. The Ospreys face Lipscomb University tonight in their last home game of the season. The first serve is at 7 p.m. in the arena. And for your Jaguars update, Nick Foles makes his return as the Jags starting quarterback in Indianapolis this Sunday against the Colts. Kickoff is at 1 p.m. I'm Catherine Cavallo, and this has been your Spinnaker Sports Report. Back to you guys.
Well, this week the weather has been all over the place. Rainy, cloudy, gloomy, cold. You know, hopefully it won't be too cold this weekend.
Well, I do. I love the cold. So let's head over to Miller Mott for more on the weather.
Thanks, guys. Looking at our national forecast map, we see you have a cold front moving through here. It's going to bring about a 10-degree drop in temperatures, and it's going to pick up some swell for us in the ocean. Saturday and Sunday are going to be looking at about 4 to 6 foot waves. So let's head over to our surf cam from just a few moments ago. We can see it's pretty rough out there right now. Right now it's about 2 to 3 foot waves, and it's just building as this cold front moves through. Looking over at our weather forecast, we can see that highs are going to be right around 60 and lows are going to be in the high 40s. It's going to be sunny at the end of the weekend and moving into the rest of the week. So you're going to want to break out those sunglasses, and so yeah, we're all good. Back to you, Christian Falca.
All right, thanks, Miller.
Well, that just about wraps it up for our show today.
Before we leave, make sure to follow our Instagram and Twitter, both at UNF Spinnaker.
And subscribe to our newsletter at unfspinnaker.com.
I'm Chris Jennings.
And I'm Shafalika Bhatnagar.
And until next time, swoop, Osprey, swoop.